Viewpoint, Talk Radio Europe's current affairs programme with a panel live on TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain. Your take on the results of the general election.
There is no such thing as a hard or soft Brexit. There's either leave the EU or not.
In 648 days, you will reach Brexit.
I am a freelance broadcaster and journalist, born in the UK but living in Spain since 1985. The thing with Brexit is nobody knows what happens next. Everybody thought that we were going to stay in Europe here. That was the overriding opinion that I got from our calls in, from our listeners, and from people I met in the street. Now that the Britons has decided to pull out of Europe, there's very much a feeling of uncertainty about what happens next. The situation here in terms of healthcare and in terms of pensions is a very complex one, and people are worried about losing that healthcare and losing the right to their pensions. They've already seen the value of their savings plummet as the sterling has fallen since Brexit, and a lot of them are very worried that a lot of them are older residents, and they're worried about their healthcare. They're worried about losing their healthcare. In fact, in some instances, we've heard tales from places like Mallorca where people have gone to the hospital, EU residents, British people, and been told, well, you're British, you voted out, therefore you don't have healthcare. That's not true, but it just goes to show there's a lot of confusion, both from the Spanish about how to treat the British, and also about the British as to what happens next. So we didn't think this would happen. Again, a lot of people couldn't vote because of the 15-year rule here. If you've lived here for over 15 years, you couldn't vote in the referendum. I went to bed as a European that fateful night and woke up as an expat, but an expat that was going to be leaving Europe, and that was a huge shock to both myself and a lot of people who based themselves here. I may have to go back and get Spanish qualifications for working in Spain. I may have to re-register. I may have to go out of the country every 90 days, like my American friends have to do, and get a visa stamped. So there's a whole new raft of regulations that a worst-case scenario could be coming my way. What I'll be doing is I'll be looking at other ways of staying in Spain, even if that means taking Spanish nationality. It's very hard for a certain type of British person to give up their passport, because when you open up a British passport, it's got a declaration by Her Majesty the Queen, and I think a lot of people feel an emotional tie. This is what the whole referendum was voted on, for emotion and what it meant to be British, what they thought would be British. I think for a lot of British people to give up a British passport would be very, very hard indeed.